and gentlemen, a South African activist that has carried the hate towards misinformation on her head has been caught misinforming the public.
I know Zimbabwe was the first country to actually get its independence in Africa.
So if you've been following the entire thing or the entire xenophobic attacks or illegal immigrants attacks that are going on in South Africa, much people should leave South Africa and all that, you will know that JACINTA Zuma is one of the people, the pillars of the entire match thing. Now, one thing that she's always speaking against is the fact that people are misinforming the general public. In fact, the whole world. Some journalists and presenters from other countries are just saying things that are not going on, things that didn't happen, history and all that, right?
Because I've seen a lot of people claiming that, for example, we said that all immigrants must leave the country, whether documented or undocumented. Some of them have claimed that we have been promoting violence. There's a lot of things, which obviously we can't deal with propaganda and misinformation now. There's a lot going on, which is why I'm asking you guys, when we speak, listen to what we say as a movement. Don't listen to what people say we said. But
the irony, JACINTA Zuma herself has been caught lying to the people, to her people that she was addressing. How did she lie? You know, in Zimbabwe, there is a lot going on. Their president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, has extended his term of service from 2028 to 2030. And he has actually abolished the fact that citizens will be able to directly vote for their president. It is the MPs that are now going to vote for their president. So everyone is terming it as an oppression, trying to cancel the constitution and all that. So JACINTA Zuma spoke about the fact that no, Zimbabweans, do something. No, you should not sit down for your presidents or your government to oppress you. Do something and all that. Some South Africans were not happy about the fact that JACINTA is trying to fight for Zimbabweans. So they went against her. Now, JACINTA Zuma now came out to come and clarify why she was speaking for Zimbabweans and why she wants Zimbabweans to stand against their president. And according to her, the entire thing that she's been doing, the march, the attacks, whatever that is happening there, is only towards the fact that Africans need to go back to build their countries.
So here's the point of what I'm saying. From inception, from the get-go, from day one, we have always been consistent in the principle that we do not want any immigrants who are leaving this country, from any country for that matter, especially African countries, to leave and then leave in body bags, for example. We want them to leave in peace, and we want them to leave. And when they leave, the message remains, they go home and they fix their countries. That has always been the message. It's been consistent. It's never changed. So we're not saying go home in Zimbabwe and starve. We're not saying go home and start doing crime. That's not what we want. We're saying when you go to your country, go home, fix your country, make sure that it works, not just for you, but for the future of that country, your children, and also of the entire continent. Because that's the objective.
Because if we look at a country like Zimbabwe, in fact, Zimbabwe was the first African country to gain their independence. Saying that Zimbabwe was the first African country to gain their independence. So Zimbabwe should be successful by now.
And one of the other things that I did mention was the fact that, you know, if black people can fight, oppression, colonialism. I know Zimbabwe was the first country to actually get its independence in Africa. So if they were able to do that and they were able to thrive and overcome all of that, why can't they now fight the same oppression just by a different skin color? So do we only see oppression when it comes from white people? Even when our own people who are black like us are oppressing us, we're saying we're going to fold our arms and act like we're helpless. That's not what we want. We want Zimbabweans to go to Zimbabwe, and whatever oppression, whatever issues that they feel they need to fight against, they must fight against.
And people were like, JACINTA Zuma, see, we get you. You are trying to fight the African battle like you are claiming and all that. But if you are trying to fight the African battle, at least go to Google or just find a history teacher and learn a little bit of history. Because if we are even talking about countries that gained their independence early, Zimbabwe will not be mentioned. In fact, we can talk about country. You should have even, or you have a beef with Ghana. At least mention that Ghana was the first African country to gain independence and come at us. But to say that Zimbabwe was the first African country to gain its independence. Zimbabwe actually gained their independence in 1980. Ghana gained their independence in 1957. You can mention Liberia, you can mention Libya, Egypt. I don't know if you were talking about colonial independence, nominal, or you were just talking about countries like Liberia that didn't get independence or were never colonized, right? But to mention Zimbabwe in this context, it doesn't work.
I know Zimbabwe was the first country to actually get its independence in Africa.
You know, but regardless, there is an important point that Jacinta made, right? Jacinta said that, see, we are all Africans, and then we cannot sit back and watch Zimbabweans and all that get oppressed and that. So we have social media. We can just go ahead to be activists for them. We post on our social media that, no, free Zimbabweans and all that. Even though Zimbabweans themselves are not, I have not seen much of Zimbabweans saying that, no, we don't want Emmerson Mnangagwa to continue and all that. But Jacinta Zuma is saying that these are bad. This is bad government. We should not sit. Africans should not sit back and then watch Zimbabweans get oppressed.
We want Zimbabweans to go to Zimbabwe, and whatever oppression, whatever issues that they feel they need to fight against, they must fight against. We are saying that our only role is to support. We can't go to Zimbabwe and fight for Zimbabweans. But we want Zimbabweans to fight whatever it is that they feel they need to fight. And we have to offer them protection. Now, if they feel that they don't have protection from their own government, and that includes them being persecuted or abused in any manner, then we need to step up as brothers and sisters. That is what it means to be a brother and sister. It doesn't mean that we're going to neglect our own fight and saying that Zimbabweans who are in South Africa illegally must go and fight for their country or and fight against their government. That's not what it means. It means that we're saying those that are still in the country legally must not find comfort. They must go back and face whatever demons that they're facing, instead of letting those who are in Zimbabwe fight alone. Because it doesn't make sense unless Zimbabweans come together and unite and fight whatever issues that they face, whatever oppression that they face. They're never going to win the fight. But also, we can't sit back and say we want them to be persecuted or face all kinds of problems when we have an ability to help them. So we can use our social media, we can use our voices, we can use whatever we want to use to make sure that the plight of Zimbabweans is echoed, and whatever it is that they're facing becomes less of a burden for the people who are in Zimbabwe. And that is why I'm standing up right now and I'm saying that the government of Zimbabwe must free Begimpilo Mbedzi, because that man is one of the bravest people that I know. He stood there when everyone was busy criticizing South Africa and saying, no, South Africans are this and that. He stood firm and said that South Africans are not doing anything wrong. They're protecting their country. And we must come to Zimbabwe and do the same. And he didn't just end there. He actually came together with Zimbabweans who know what they want and who know what they want their country to be like. And they decided that they're going to set a date, which is the 31st of July, because they want to stage a protest. Now, nobody deserves to be abused and tortured and treated like they're a criminal just because they want to protest, and peacefully, because we promote peaceful protests ourselves. Now we're seeing a lot of, threats and a lot of abuse going to people of Zimbabwe who are saying that they're going to be protesting on the 31st of July.
But if Zimbabweans, you are watching Jacinta Zuma, right? She's telling you to be bold to go confront your leaders, your president and all that. Just to remember that if you do it and you get displaced, that you are being chased out of your country, you will go back. Whether they are unaliving or whatever that is happening to you in Zimbabwe after your confrontation, Jacinta, the Pan-Africanist, is actually going to sack you from her country when she is done. But there is one particular point that is made by Julius Malema. Julius Malema is always trying to put South Africans, trying to let South Africans see the bigger picture. Because Julius Malema spoke on a press over the weekend and made all of us aware, and even South Africans aware, that right now, a proportion of the illegal foreigners and the foreigners in the country, they are back to their countries. They are going to fix their countries. What has happened to South Africa right? What is different in South Africa right now? The jobs and the crimes and all of that we were all complaining about, there is high crime rates and all that, is still going on. Everything is just as the foreigners were here. This is coming from Julius Malema, not me.
That's why they say to you, you are unemployed because of Zimbabweans. You don't have land because of Zimbabweans. You don't have economic opportunities because of Zimbabweans. We faced Zimbabweans. We faced Malawians. We took them home. Some Zimbabweans are still in Musina. If you are staying in a back room, you are still staying in a back room even when Zimbabweans are gone, because they lied to you. They said to you, all of your problems are caused by Africans. How can a person who's suffering the same pain as you cause you a problem? You are all victims of capital. You are all victims of slavery. You are all victims of colonialism, of imperialism. All of Africa. That's why when you go to America, to China, everywhere of Europe, and you say, I'm from South Africa. But oh, how is Lagos? Because they can't differentiate all of you. They are treating you as one, because you are hated everywhere. Then they come in and depoliticize you by planting a seed of division. And you see your fellow African as an enemy. And you see a European occupier as an investor. A person who keeps you out of the gates of the economy is the most loved person. Instead of uniting against one man, we fight one another.
But don't forget that we will continue to report on South Africa, because South Africa is not stopping. If you go to the Facebook page of Jacinta Misinforming, she has an entire schedule coming on Thursday for Limpopo. Limpopo, the province Limpopo, is actually the current or the upcoming province that is going to state the march and all that coming Thursday. You know, every Thursday they are going to march and all that. So there is no way it will be done with South Africans. In fact, we have some of our Ghanaians that actually launched here in Ghana yesterday. We have some that are also coming. The Ghanaian president is doing whatever that he can to bring our people back to us safely. But there is a lot to cover when it comes to South Africa, so you will see me with another video. Please do me a favor to subscribe if you've not, leave your comments, and then you share. The room is bright because my name is Light. Bye.